Everyone in town is buzzing about Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton and the supervisor of Thornton Township. Her name is everywhere, on the news, in conversations, and even in FBI reports. Yes, you heard that right. The FBI is investigating her. Why? Because they suspect she's been misusing local funds. Tiffany, however, isn't staying silent. She's calling it all lies, claiming someone is out to frame her. But let's dive deeper into this whirlwind. Tiffany is not just the mayor of Dalton. She also manages the responsibilities of being Thornton Township's supervisor. 2 high-profile jobs, 1 person. Sounds impressive, right? Yet, this dual role seems to be causing more drama than the season finale of your favorite reality TV show. People are raising eyebrows over the hefty paycheck Tiffany earns, over $200,000 a year. From her combined roles, critics claim that's more than many Dalton residents make in 5 years. Critics argue it's excessive, but Tiffany's supporters see her as a superhero. Need help with your electricity bill? Tiffany's got resources. Can't afford a funeral? Tiffany's right there with a checkbook in hand. The problem? Allegations claim she's using public funds for personal gain, sparking a heated debate. Is she a savior or just serving herself? Natasha is wearing leather pants and a white top. Funny enough, she's a Christmas Carol dancer and are sometimes invited to the garage sales at the Hollywood Bowhead Studios. Christopher Malloy modeling H-back picking up the bills. Tiffany loves her family and friends. Tasha's a quack bondage. Esther Smith claims her reputation is worth $1 million. It's hard to disagree. Tasha's only response to poor money. I remember the last time I saw her. Now let's rewind to 2021. Tiffany swept into office, promising change for Dalton, a small town with big aspirations. Some labeled her a super mayor, but not in the flattering way you'd think. They claim she's juggling too much power, too many responsibilities, and not enough time to handle them all. While she focused on improving town services, like fixing roads and ensuring timely garbage collection, whispers began to grow louder about her financial dealings. And now the FBI is in town. This isn't just local gossip anymore. It's a full-blown investigation. The feds are digging deep, questioning her business dealings, charity operations, and political funds. Rumors are swirling that Tiffany might have dipped her hand into the proverbial cookie jar, but she insists it's all a misunderstanding. The FBI isn't buying it just yet. They've pulled out all the stops, even using electronic surveillance to monitor her spending. From her charity to her business ventures, they're following the money trail, trying to uncover if there's more to her finances than meets the eye. It feels like a scene out of a spy thriller, but for Tiffany, this is her reality. Despite the mounting pressure, Tiffany isn't backing down. That's my job. I spend years reading about all of the spy thriller. Is that a hard thing to make rhetoric certificates? Her right-hand man insists she's protected, claiming threats have been made against her, and she's taking precautions. But as the investigation heats up, the question remains, can Tiffany clear her name, or is this the beginning of the end for her political career? What do you think? Is Tiffany being framed? Or is there truth to the allegations? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Hey, like for instance, City of New Orleans has a policy that city officials don't fly first class.
Okay.
Do you have that?
We do not.
Do you believe you should have a policy? Because again, the critics are that you're flying first class, that you're staying in four-season hotels, high-dollar hotels, having what they call extravagant dinners, and those are your critics. Are you as a city official, in order to make sure that you'll be on reproach, looking at establishing a city policy in terms of how money is spent when traveling?
This is the way I feel about it. People will talk about anybody because they're not doing the work. They only talk about the people that's at the top, the ones that are doing the work.
Though Tiffany claims her credit card transactions are entirely justified, the FBI seems to think otherwise. They have been interviewing local business owners and former employees, some of whom allege that Tiffany hasn't been playing fair. The claims suggest she focuses her efforts on those who either vote for her or support her financially, raising the question, is there more to this story, or is she truly being unfairly targeted? As Dalton faces serious challenges, including a staggering $2 million deficit, the spotlight has turned to Tiffany's lavish lifestyle. While the town struggles to stay afloat, the mayor seems to be defending first-class flights, luxury hotels, and fine dining. Her penchant for high-end travel paints the picture of someone on a perpetual vacation, except it's the taxpayers footing the bill. Um, 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 memora, oh, Let's talk specifics. Tiffany has been accused of racking up thousands of dollars on Township credit cards for extravagant meals, premium accommodations, and other questionable expenses. Critics argue that these charges blend personal indulgences with business expenditures, raising eyebrows across the community. With what seems to be
So we have about 45 officers in our village. My security is warranted due to the fact of threats and things of that nature. But what people are not stating is it's in our CBA. That's our collective bargaining agreement. That's our union contract. So it comes with the seat. That's what people are not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say, I want security.
How many officers is it?
How many officers is what?
On security detail.
I'm not gonna say how many due to the threats on my life. So,
but if it's in your CBA,
it is in my CBA. I'm not doing anything wrong. I even went to court due to the fact of people suing me saying I cannot have a security detail, and I won. The judge said I can't have a
fettered access to public funds. Tiffany's spending spree appears unchecked and unaccountable. And then there are the billboards, giant, flashy, and unmistakably Tiffany. Plastered across town, they prominently feature her image and name. But here's the catch. The law prohibits using public funds for self-promotion, yet these billboards were reportedly paid for with taxpayer dollars. When confronted about this, Tiffany's response was unapologetic. She insisted the billboards served the town by advertising Dalton and local events, brushing off concerns about the apparent conflict. As these allegations mount, the question remains, are these the perks of a mayor dedicated to her role, or are they abuses of power by someone living extravagantly at the community's expense? Dalton residents are left wondering whether their trust and their tax dollars are being used for the greater good or personal gain. What do you think? Is Tiffany's leadership as bold as it is flawed, or are these claims just another attempt to tarnish her? Is there a perks or followed? I know for myself, tracking all of this at the very least, the global metaverse platform. Share your thoughts and stay tuned as we unravel more about this unfolding controversy. Tiffany seems to have missed the memo. Being a leader means putting the needs of others first. Instead, she's living like a celebrity, flying first class, staying in luxurious hotels, enjoying extravagant dinners, and posting billboards with her face plastered everywhere. Meanwhile, the residents of Dalton are struggling to make ends meet. This stark contrast between her lifestyle and the reality of those she represents is raising, startled spiking to my mouth. But it's not just her lavish spending that's sparking outrage. It's also what she isn't doing. Tiffany seems more focused on her own comfort and public image than addressing the pressing issues facing Dalton. Roads are crumbling, schools need funding, and families are struggling, yet she's out here living as if budgets don't apply to her. Is Tiffany innocent in all this? Some people want to give her the benefit of the doubt, but when you're wrong, you're wrong. And right now, many believe she's completely out of touch with reality. How does she justify this extravagant spending when Dalton's finances are hanging by a thread? To some, it seems like she's living in a fantasy world, one where money grows on trees and accountability doesn't exist. But Tiffany isn't backing down. She claims her actions are entirely above board and insists she's the real victim here. She's standing her ground, saying every dollar spent has a legitimate purpose. Yet, with the FBI investigating and allegations piling up, it's hard not to wonder, will the truth prove she's as innocent as she claims? Um, Critics are connecting the dots between Tiffany's spending and Dalton's financial troubles. They're asking tough questions. Is the town's money being used to fix roads, fund schools, and help the community? Or is it financing Tiffany's jet-setting lifestyle, flashy billboards, and personal comforts? Emrin, so I decided in making this mansion of complexions with the mountain titles, it's not just about her spending habits. Residents are questioning whether Tiffany is genuinely trying to help or simply trying to polish her image. Take the allegations about the breast cancer organization she reportedly established. It's accused of fraud and suspected of misusing public funds. And then there's the matter of her constant security detail. Have you ever heard of a small town mayor needing bodyguards 24/7? Tiffany says the security is essential, claiming her life is in danger. But is this really about safety? Or is it just another excuse to live large on the public's dime? She's adamant that the entire affair is a setup, positioning herself as the victim of a massive conspiracy. The question remains, is Tiffany truly in danger, or is she using these claims to justify her actions? With all these allegations swirling, it's becoming harder to separate fact from fiction. What's clear is that Dalton's residents are demanding answers, and until they get them, this drama isn't going anywhere. So, this situation is getting serious, and Tiffany isn't backing down. She insists that all her actions are completely lawful, but here's the catch. She hasn't provided the evidence to back up her claims. Tiffany says she has invoices that prove her innocence, yet she hasn't shown them to the public. While she positions herself as the hero trying to save the town, she accuses the trustees of being the real villains, blocking her progress at every turn. Next, Tiffany is painting the ongoing FBI investigation, lawsuits, and allegations as part of a grand scheme to push her out of office. A conspiracy, she says, that has nothing to do with her own actions. But here's the million-dollar question. Is this just an elaborate defense to avoid accountability, or is she truly the victim of a larger plot? Take her legitimate spending, for instance. But and I think when people started questioning her frequent stays in five-star hotels and first-class flights, Tiffany was quick to defend herself. She claims her position as mayor demands this kind of travel. After all, she's juggling multiple lawsuits from former employees, which she calls yet another set of attacks orchestrated by her enemies. And okay, again, we're formally searching for records. So she was traveling across the U.S., also not merited. And then there's Keith Freeman, Tiffany's ex-boyfriend and former right-hand man, who is now at the center of this drama. Freeman, once her trusted confidant, is now working with the FBI, spilling secrets that could unravel everything. He's reportedly sharing details about Tiffany's lavish spending habits, from extravagant dinners to luxury trips, all of which he witnessed firsthand. Freeman himself isn't squeaky clean. Yeah, it's funny, when he is facing bankruptcy fraud charges, but instead of staying silent, he's singing like a canary to the FBI. His cooperation could be the key to uncovering what's really happening in Dalton. Freeman might hold the secrets to Tiffany's financial dealings, and if he reveals everything, it could spell serious trouble for her. Well, here's the classiest soundtrack to All My Love. It's by Tiffany Harper. It is great. But here's where it gets even messier. Tiffany is reportedly trying to pin everything on Freeman, using him as a scapegoat to save herself. Will this strategy work? Or will Freeman's testimony seal her fate? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, millions of dollars that seem to have vanished into thin air. Tiffany claims she's spending this money on Dalton, but with the town's budget in shambles, where is this cash really going? We're talking about a staggering $15 million. Yes, you heard that right. But if Tiffany has access to that much money, why does Dalton continue to struggle with massive deficits and unresolved issues? The town's financial hole is so deep, it's like a truck could drive through it and still not hit the bottom. If you're asking me, does Dalton have trouble with money? I'd say it's pretty low, or Is it low enough? I don't know. But somehow Texas Dalton didn't hit the bottom, like he is not getting this together himself. Sorry, mate. Tiffany insists she's working to get Dalton the help it needs, but the numbers don't add up. If the town is hemorrhaging money, why are critical problems still unresolved? Residents want answers. And the truth about Dalton's missing millions could make or break Tiffany's career. So, what's really going on? Is Tiffany a misunderstood leader facing unjust attacks, or is she a master manipulator pulling strings behind the scenes? And as for Keith Freeman, will his cooperation with the FBI expose the full picture, or is there still more to the story? One thing's for sure, this drama is far from over, and Dalton's residents are watching every move. What do you think? Is Tiffany the victim or the villain? Let us know your thoughts. Episode number 54, since 1938.